Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 review. Is it worth $2,000? The Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 is a remarkable device that has captured my attention over the past week. It's hard to find new ways to express just how impressive it is. While it may not be a necessity or a revolutionary gadget, it certainly has its charm. To say it's merely nice would be an understatement. Samsung has successfully joined the ranks of other innovative brands like Honor and Oppo, creating a foldable phone that is nearly as slim as a traditional smartphone. This trend brings tangible advantages, especially when you compare the Z Fold 7 to its predecessors. The inner display feels like a delightful addition that doesn't come with the burden of a larger, bulkier device. It's sleek, it exudes luxury, and yes, it comes with a hefty price tag of $2,000. So, how do you determine if the Galaxy Z Fold 7 is the right fit for you? If the previous model size and weight were off-putting, this could be the device you've been eagerly anticipating, assuming, of course, you have a couple of grand to spare. Price tag, $2,000. Pros asterisk. Exceptionally slim and lightweight for a foldable device. Battery life that lasts all day with moderate usage. The outer display finally feels like a standard smartphone screen. Cons asterisk. The price is a staggering $2,000. Concerns about durability remain. The camera bump causes the phone to wobble when placed on a flat surface. Writing a review for the Z Fold 7 feels like discussing two distinct devices, one when the phone is closed and another when it's opened. The outer display has received a significant upgrade this year, featuring a standard 21:9 aspect ratio. In contrast, earlier models had elongated and narrow screens that were challenging to type on. With the Z Fold 7 closed, I often forget I'm using a foldable phone. In everyday use, it functions just like a conventional smartphone, except in a few extreme scenarios. For a foldable device, this is a significant achievement. However, there's a catch. The outer screen is a 6.5-inch 1080p display that doesn't quite match the sharpness or brightness of the much more affordable Galaxy S25 Ultra. This was a recurring thought during my time with the Z Fold 7. While it's a unique device overall, many of its individual features don't quite measure up to the best traditional smartphones. When it comes to battery life, non-foldable phones generally outperform the Z Fold 7, but the difference isn't as significant as I initially feared. The amount of time spent on the inner screen greatly influences battery performance. I managed to get through a day of moderate use, including some time on the inner display, with about 50% battery remaining. However, after more extensive use of the inner screen and about an hour of hotspot activity, I found myself down to around 30% by bedtime. While no one buys a foldable phone for its energy efficiency, I found these results to be quite satisfactory. Once I opened the inner screen, any minor shortcomings faded from my mind. I quickly adapted to using it regularly. Imagine browsing Chrome on your phone with standard tabs displayed at the top of the screen. Think about how much easier it is to play a game like Diablo Immortal on a larger display. Or consider the convenience of keeping the Uber app open on one side of the screen while you finish a Sudoku puzzle on the other. These experiences are delightful, and once you start utilizing the inner screen, you'll discover countless new ways to make the most of it. While these features aren't exclusive to the Fold 7, I can't stress enough how it feels like a special experience. Using this phone while it's closed feels completely normal. No more bulky device crammed into my yoga pants pocket. One minor complaint is that the phone feels a bit stiff when opening it. A case could help with that. Overall, the Z Fold 7's slimmer, lighter design truly transforms the foldable phone experience. However, there are some drawbacks. I'm not usually one to fuss over the appearance of a camera bump, but this one sticks out quite a bit. It causes the phone to sit unevenly on surfaces and wobbles when you tap the screen, which makes you want to place it screen side down on a table. While this can reduce distractions for notifications, it also poses a risk of the phone sliding off a surface, as I learned the hard way when it slipped off the edge of my bathtub. Thankfully, there was no water involved. The wobbling can be bothersome. I often have to prop it up with coasters when using it on my dining table. Samsung's silicone grip case seems to help with this issue, but stand cases don't resolve it. A case feels almost necessary for this device, And I say that as someone who typically dislikes cases, but they are slim enough that they don't negate the advantages of a lightweight foldable phone. The Z Fold 7 is powered by a Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset, specifically optimized for Samsung, along with 12 gigabytes of RAM in the 256 gigabytes model I tested. It performs admirably, allowing me to run Diablo Immortal at the highest settings without any issues. The phone didn't even heat up significantly. However, during a more intense test, using it as a hotspot on a sunny patio in high 80s weather, it did start to close apps after about 10 minutes to cool down. This is an extreme scenario, but it's worth noting if you live in a hot climate. Another important aspect to consider is dust resistance. The Z Fold 7 lacks a formal dust resistance rating. Its IP48 rating means it is fully water resistant, but only offers limited protection against very small particles, such as dust. It's wise to handle it with care and consider Samsung's extended warranty plan for potential costly repairs to the inner screen. The Z Fold 7 boasts a 200-megapixel camera adapted from the S25 Ultra, and it performs excellently, just like its counterpart. Low-light photography yields detailed images, provided your subject remains relatively still, and Samsung's signature vibrant reds and blues are prominently featured. Additionally, it includes a 10-megapixel 3x telephoto lens and a 12-megapixel ultra-wide lens, both of which perform well if you don't push them too hard. However, digital zoom beyond 5x from the telephoto lens can result in a somewhat blurry image. On the bright side, Samsung's portrait mode with the 3x camera continues to be the best in the industry, with impressive segmentation that can isolate a subject down to the eyelashes. When comparing the Z Fold 7 to a high-end slab phone like the S25 Ultra, it often falls short in terms of durability, battery life, and camera versatility. However, this comparison misses the essence of the Z Fold 7. This device is a luxury item and a feat of engineering. If you have the financial means and an appreciation for the advantages of a larger screen, I believe you'll agree with me. It's simply delightful. How to score the Galaxy Z Fold 7 for $899. Secret Samsung deal uncovered. Samsung's hidden Galaxy Z Fold 7 offer drops to $899. Imagine snagging a cutting-edge device at a price that seems too good to be true. Recently, we uncovered a remarkable deal on the Galaxy Z Fold 7, which has seen an unexpected price cut of $100, even though Samsung hasn't been actively advertising this discount. This offer was initially communicated via email to customers who had reserved the device, enhancing the original reservation promotion by adding an additional $50. However, the way Samsung is applying this reserve credit is quite different, as they are effectively providing a $100 discount directly on the phone itself. Just this past weekend, they confirmed that this enticing deal is still available. The best pre-order deal for the Galaxy Z Fold 7 at $899. For those who might have missed out, let's break it down. Samsung has been reaching out to individuals who reserved the Galaxy Z Fold 7 but have not yet completed their pre-order. In these communications, they mentioned that they would be increasing the reserve credit from $50 to $100 for accessories, provided that the pre-order is made through the Shop Samsung app. However, this is somewhat misleading. Instead of applying that $100 as a credit for accessories, Samsung is simply reducing the initial price of the Fold 7 by $100. Therefore, if you pre-order through the Shop Samsung app, the starting price for the 512 gigabytes model is $1,899, and you can subtract your trade-in value from this amount. You can check your trade-in value here, https://howl.link/les4ym4pc15 as. This means you could potentially pay as little as $899 for what is undoubtedly an incredibly upgraded Galaxy Z Fold 7, arguably Samsung's finest model to date. Once you've determined your trade-in value, the next step is to download the Shop Samsung app. You can find it here, https://howl.link/xydv3x2i68vp. After that, be sure to check your email if you made a reservation to see if you received this enhanced offer, look for an email titled, "Get up to $1,250 in total savings on Galaxy Z series." Additionally, you might want to try the link we received via email. This is it. Here. HTTP smartphone, app sweetener rent equals Fandy. As it has been successful for many users last week. In summary, Samsung is offering a free upgrade from 256 gigabytes to 512 gigabyte storage, along with an additional $100 discount, which effectively makes it a $220 storage upgrade. Plus, you can apply your trade-in value as an instant discount, potentially saving you up to $1,000. This means that getting a Galaxy Z Fold 7 for just $899 is indeed a real possibility. We'd love to hear how your experience goes. Galaxy Z Fold 7 pre-order link, https://owl.link/kxris53jpm016. Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 versus Z Flip 7. Which one should you buy? Are you torn between the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 and the Z Flip 7? You're not alone. The decision can be quite daunting, especially with the myriad of features and price points to consider. But let's dive into what makes the Galaxy Z Fold 7 stand out in the crowded smartphone market. One of the most remarkable aspects of Samsung Electronics Company's latest offering, the Galaxy Z Fold 7, is how it manages to feel just like a regular smartphone. Given the complex engineering hurdles involved in creating a foldable device, this is indeed a significant compliment. Priced at $2,000, the Z Fold 7 is a part of Samsung's 7th generation of foldable phones, a segment that has yet to capture the hearts of the average consumer. However, this iteration is notably thinner and lighter than its predecessors, which is a welcome change. It also comes with fewer trade-offs, making it a more appealing option for those who may have been hesitant about foldable technology in the past. But here's where it gets controversial. While the Z Fold 7 excels in many areas, there are still some compromises that might frustrate dedicated tech enthusiasts. For the everyday user, these shortcomings may not be as significant, but for those who demand perfection, they could be a deal-breaker. In conclusion, whether you should invest in the Galaxy Z Fold 7 or the Z Flip 7 ultimately depends on your personal preferences and how you plan to use your device. Are you ready to embrace the future of smartphones, or do you prefer the tried-and-true designs of traditional models? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you agree with the assessment of the Z Fold 7, or do you think it falls short? Share your opinions in the comments below.